Welcome back to another anime review. Today we are reviewing episode 4 of Black Clover. I'm Justin,
I'm Logan.
and together we're Couch Talk. So before we get into this, Logan has not read the manga at all. I have, so we have our two perspectives there. So no spoilers down below for Logan and other anime viewers only. So
Right.
this episode, for manga readers, actually is through chapter 2. So be amazed, we got through a chapter in one episode.
That is
The
nice.
first, what?
I said that is nice.
That
You
is
could tell
nice.
this episode was the least painful. It actually felt reasonably paced.
Yes,
C-
I still felt
especially-
like a little slow. They could have went a little further to where I think, because basically they're almost done with the exam at the end of this episode. I think they should have just went to the selection part,
Right.
and just finished it there.
Yeah.
This first 6 minutes is mostly original content with them going through the city. It's showing, the liveliness of the city. Also, in there's not like a whole lot to talk about in these first 6 minutes other than showing the city. But we do see a cameo from a character that's in a couple more chapters down the road. It's the girl with the 3 children. She's carrying the baby on her back. That's a cameo from a future girl.
Oh, I would know that. But
Yeah, you would not know that. Only manga readers would know that.
yeah, the first part was just like, "Oh, here's the town. It's much different from your village." Of course.
Well, yeah. So we go into the exam room then.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I just want to say, the person checking grimoires is blind as hell.
Well, first of all, this is also original content here with them showing everyone's grimoires and going in. It's not that I think they're blind. I think the anime just does a poor job of showing it. It's supposed to be really dirty and filthy to where you can't really see the clover at all. And I think this guy is more like, hey, that's filthy. It's in my face. Get it out of my face. He's not even trying to look at it. He's like, just get it out of my face. Like, why are you shoving it up in me?
It was definitely not well. I was just like, I can see it. Like,
yeah. I
it's
think
right
that's
there.
It's not supposed to be easily recognizable, is how it is. So I just feel like the anime is not doing the best job of trying to hide the fact that he has like a 5 clover. He's just
Right.
going around shoving it in everybody's face every episode, and
Hey, look what I got.
yeah, but nobody knows because it's filthy.
Right.
So that is probably like the first important thing that happens in this episode. And we do get some many characters introduced. The first part of the exam is with these birds. The more magic you have, the less birds that will gather around you. So we see Yuno has no birds.
Of course.
No birds because, he's our flawless prodigy.
Of course.
And Asta,
Has
zero magic,
has like
has-
300 birds.
300 birds on him.
I just want to say those little birds look like the Pokemon. Oh,
They do. Oh, I know
is
what
it
you're
like
talking.
Tailo? I think
Yes, I think it is.
they look
Taylor.
just like it.
It's funny how our reviews always end up with a Pokemon reference, and they're like, doesn't matter what show we're watching, there's gonna be a slight Pokemon reference somewhere at some point.
But then we get introduced to some of the Magic Knights because they're
Yes.
captains of their respective squad.
Yes, and
I do
While
like the
Asta's-
the
diverse
diverseness of the captains.
yes. So the first captain we're introduced to is Yami. He's from the Black Bulls. They're kind of like the misfits and kind of the outcast of the Magic Knights, which some of the other people in the exam room talk about how like they just kind of mess around. They never seem like
Yeah,
they
do.
care about their actual order
They
jobs.
damage more stuff than they actually help.
So because he's on the exam floor, which the Magic Knights are not supposed to be. Asta mistakes him for another contender, and that's why he's like, for a 15-year-old, you're huge, dude. You must have had a rough life.
That's what I was thinking. I thought he was like another contender. I'm like, that guy is massive for a fucking teenager.
For a 15-year-old contestant, and that's why Yami takes offense to it. He's like, "What do you mean I look like I've had a rough life?" Just picks him up. So we do get some great interaction in this episode.
Yeah.
For once, it's finally this episode feels like there's some sort of pacing going on.
It doesn't feel like forced interactions.
Yes, and it's actually starting to be a little more lighthearted here.
Yeah, you could also tell that
not
Yami...
Not repetitive, not the same jokes over and over.
Right, you could also tell Yami noticed his, like, physical strength when he was squeezing his head, because he, like, tried to pull him off.
He couldn't, because Yami's just... Also, he's fucking huge. And we get introduced 2 more Black Bull members here. We got Finral, who's a spatial magic user, which you'll learn what that is in the next episode. And we also get the crazy, like, emo guy, who I still have no idea. They say he just does incantation magic. Even though the manga is very far ahead, this isn't much of a spoiler. He's never there. So I still don't actually know what he does.
Well, he seems just really quiet.
That's what they talk about. He has terrible communication. So you obviously don't want to do too much around a character who doesn't communicate.
Yeah.
Doesn't give you much to build off of, and I think that's what they went with.
Then we get another contestant named Seke, which at this point he comes off as a good guy, but we kind of learn later he's kind of a douchebag.
Yeah, he's another noble, as you get from a lot of other people here doing the exam, is nobles hate peasants.
Right.
And Seke obviously mentions that later in the episode, how he hates peasants, and he's like, go back to where you're run down rat village and stuff. But he's basically using Asta to show, hey, I'm much better. I look good. He's like using Asta to make himself look much better than what he is.
Right. Then the squad shows up. All the Magic Knights show up. I think my favorite of the Magic Knights is the Jack the Ripper guy.
Yeah, I actually don't know too much about him, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
I just like how they're all unique.
Yes, there's a few I don't know much about. They haven't really gone into in the manga either. The girl that's always sleeping, how she's kind of unique. She obviously just sleepwalks everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know how she actually functions. She's always asleep and she can do everything while asleep. Vermilion, well, there's so many Vermilions in this show, in this fucking series, to be honest. You got Fuguelo, Vermilion, and then you got several other Vermilions that show up. Jack the Ripper is pretty interesting. I want to know more about him, actually.
Yeah, there's just there's how many? 9 or so?
9, yes, there's 9.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of the leader of the, it's like Blue something, the woman.
Yeah.
Not the sleeping one.
The other one? Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
And then
Charlotte.
obviously, yeah, Charlotte. And then Yami is the main one we're going to get throughout the series eventually, along with a few others.
That's the vibe I picked up. But the main one seemed to be William.
Yes, he's going to be a big player. Obviously, he's the one that's in the line of the Wizard King.
Yeah, he's basically next in line to become Wizard King, and already you could tell Yuno and Asa see him as a rival, because they're like, that's what it takes to be Wizard King, is like at his level.
Because all the top 9 Magic Knights are the next in line for the Wizard King, and William is considered the strongest of them all. And he's the one who starts the exam. He's like, hey, here's my tree magic that gives everyone brooms. And that's the second test, is the broom test. The first one being the birds that they don't really acknowledge as being a test. What it kind of is, it just shows if they have a lot of magic power or little magic power.
Yeah. The exam part was a bit like predictable because I knew Yuno was gonna ace everything, and I knew Asta was gonna be terrible at everything.
Yes.
So it wasn't like surprising.
I hope not too many people, like anime viewers only, were disappointed in the exam because they kind of like the ending of the last episode and even the beginning of this one, like re-emphasized, like, hey, it's time for the exam. It's this big thing, and it's really a very simple exam.
They did kind of build it up, considering the exam was like not even half the episode. It was like barely under half the episode. So they did kind of build it up, especially last episode, which that was just pacing issues. They seem to be going in the right direction. So it wasn't bad, but they did kind of build it up more than it should be. Like,
yes. That's why I feel like they should have got through a little more in this episode. I think we get to this broom one. I feel like they spend way too much time on the broom section.
Yeah.
We get it. Yuno can stand on it and fly around. We get it. Asta is stuck, can't fly.
Right. That's all we needed to see.
But they spent a lot of time with it, and then they quickly blaze through.
Well, there was an interesting scene during the broom scene, which was one of the knights had a sister. Like, his sister wanted to go participate, and he's
that's Noelle. This is an early introduction for her. We're not supposed to see her for a bit. So
yeah, he basically says
this is another original content, I'm pretty sure, is her coming to the exam. But it is a sister, or it's not a sister. I think they're cousins.
She says
something like that.
She says
they're family, but
she calls him Brother Nozel, unless that's just like a title.
I don't know. Like, there's a lot of them with that last name. Just let you know, there's like a shit ton of them. So sometimes I get confused which one's the brother, which one's the cousins, which one's which. Okay. So I don't remember if he's the brother or cousin. He could be the brother if she said that. So. And she gets turned down, so...
Well, yeah,
of course.
He's like, hey, you don't need to do this. It's not necessary. But then he's like, oh, by the way, your existence is unnecessary. It's like, way to just be an asshole for no reason.
It's the nobles, man. As he said, you don't need to do these peasant exams. Like, he looks down on basically everyone out there. And as I think, like, a couple people in the crowds were talking about how his... and the Williams Magic Knight orders only accept nobles.
Right. There has been, throughout the whole, like, 4 episodes, 3, 4? 4. They've really drove home the only nobles make it, peasants suck. Like, that's the theme they've been driving. But then we get to the most interesting part of the episode. They always put the most interesting part at the very end.
Yep. After they do that, they breeze through the mini exams.
Yeah, just same stuff. Asa being shit at them, and then everyone else doing good. I wonder if let's see. It looks like Seke. I think they purposely did this. It looks like Seke was in every scene Asta did bad, which kind of correlates.
Oh, yeah, they did it on purpose.
It kind of correlates to what he said, like
because they didn't do it straight out. Like in the manga, basically when they first met, it went to his thoughts, and he's like, "I'm going to use Asta to make myself look better."
Yeah, that's what
they did that without actually explicitly saying it. They had it just by having him next to Asta in every little montage, and I truly hope. I doubt they were probably like after the testing they're like, we're gonna have to fight, look for a partner, and Asta's like, crap, all I've been doing is yelling.
Yeah, they did.
They're like, oh, interesting.
I feel like they did acknowledge that there's been a lot of yelling, and it's really really annoying.
I hope this leads to them like toning down.
That's what I'm hoping.
The voice actor needs to tone down some.
Yeah.
This is where we get Sake. He's like, "Baha, fight me."
Baha.
I don't know why they made him do this Baha thing over and over. It kind of got annoying a bit. Like it's just seemed like awful voice acting at the same time. He's like,
Bah. He's got to
"Bah!"
sound all.
It's not like real. It's like so fake. I was like, "Oh, geez, stop, man." Bah! It's like, "Fight me, Asta." Bah!
Yeah. And then he's like, hey, by the way, I'm just using you. You're nothing. I'm a noble. You're not on my level. So he's basically like, thanks for helping me pass by
Yeah, it's
being
just
so
like,
bad.
and this gets to the most interesting part. Basically, of the episode is he's like, "Here, check out this." He's bragging about his magic. Basically, he's trying to appeal to the magic knights. Like, look at how awesome I am. I'm gonna toy with Asta, and then I'm gonna obliterate him after I'm done toying with him. And he's like, "You don't need to hold back."
Yeah.
Asta's just like, "All right, I won't hold back." Comes in and just,
This part was cool. This like whole animation sequence was pretty cool.
yes, the animation I do like for their fight scenes a lot.
Yeah, like he has to just straight up summon his grimoire in a like instant, goes to him and just cuts his ass. Well, he doesn't. He cuts his magic in half, and I'm pretty sure if he hit him with a sword that fast, he'd be pretty dead. But maybe Alistair held back at the very last second.
It's the very dull blade, okay? It's very dull. So it just smashes. It
It's also
doesn't cut.
It's pretty big.
Uh, and then he's like, "I'm going to become the Wizard King," and that's kind of where they end the episode. I wish they would have cut down on some things to where they could have got into the next episode, because I have a feeling in the next episode they're going to replay the fight scene, because there's
Yeah.
several lines that are said by the captains that are kind of important. So I know they're gonna have to replay it.
They're
and
probably
have
gonna
them
see
say
it
those
like
lines.
they're probably gonna re-show it from the captain's perspectives. And
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll have to say something.
and I wish they could have just already did that and got to them doing the selection of who's joining who's captains thing.
Right. So
I feel like that's gonna be the bulk of the next episode, and we're not gonna get as much as we should.
yeah. So my guess, you obviously have read it. My guess is Yami picks Asta. Like from their interaction at the very beginning, and I feel like he would respect just strength in general. So that's my guess of who picks Asta. And then Yuno's definitely getting picked. Like probably by, well, not William, because he only picks nobles. Doesn't the white hair guy only pick nobles?
Yes.
I don't know who picks him. Maybe the white hair guy makes an exception and picks him. I don't see the main guy picking him. Who knows?
We should see next episode, unless they go back to their old pacing days.
If they
Next episode.
if they can
should-
start keeping episodes at least like this, it won't be bad. They need to definitely avoid how the first 3 episodes went.
Yes. And I'm guessing next episode will be the selection process, and then Asta with his selected group.
Right. But that pretty much
That
does
does
it.
mostly for this episode. There's not. It's kind of a straightforward episode. Nothing to like speculate on as much besides who gets selected. It's just, hey, there's these people that are doing a quick, easy exam just to test their magic power.
Yeah. It was, but it was more eventful than other episodes.
Yeah, a lot more eventful. Better pacing.
Yeah. You want to just rate it?
Asta felt a little better. Yeah, we can go into the ratings. I'm just gonna give it a 6. I don't think I'm gonna go higher than that. Mostly before I said the pacing was better, but it's still not to where it should be. I think it needs to be moving quicker than what it is. Just because it's a faster kind of shonen when it comes to the manga, or that I feel like they're gonna try dragging out way too much, and it's giving me that feel even during this episode. Some of the cameos I did like that you don't understand, but I do understand, and us manga readers will understand the cameos. Those are kind of nice, put out there. But overall, nothing too like incredible, I guess.
Right. I'll go Yeah, I'll go 6 as well. I think the strongest point of it was the introduction to with all the characters, because I mean the pacing was better, but it wasn't the best. They obviously could have got a lot more done. They spent way too much in the town, even though this is kind of nitpicking, but they did spend way too much going through the town and like checking in.
Yeah, the added purple snake scene
Yeah,
and
it's
wasn't
like
really
you could have just
necessary.
jumped to the broom scene was a bit too long, but I mean it was definitely better than the last 3 episodes.
Enough to not make us drop it, or enough to...
I feel I feel this episode was like, all right, look, we can get better, and it's like,
Yeah,
okay, I can.
I did feel that way, especially from the discussions I've been seeing online. Like, they were a lot more positive than they have been.
Right. And when Asta doesn't yell as much, it's good. Like he's actually a cool character when he like talks normal and especially when he fights, because he doesn't really yell when he fights. He's just like, all right. But
It's more like a louder, stern voice when he fights. It's not screaming.
yeah, it's not like this cackling, loud witch yell that.
Waha!
Baha. But
All right, that does it for our scores then, right?
yeah, that's it. 6 and
We
6.
basically said you said your predictions already. I can't predict. So yeah, that will do it for this episode. So again, as always.
Oh, another positive. No marry me joke. Thank you.
So we're supposed to pretend that doesn't exist and move on.
I'm just saying it wasn't there, so that's good.
Good point out. Back to the YouTube spiel. Be sure to like, subscribe, share the video with anyone you think would be interested.
Comment.
Yes, and comment. The feedback and interactions has been great on our last few reviews that we've done. So again, just no spoilers for other anime viewer only if you know the manga. Let us know what you thought about the episode, what you would score it, what some of your thoughts are. Maybe if we missed a certain point that you would like to bring up. Anything like that would be great. And all right, anything else you got to say? No?
That's good.
Cool.
Just
All right,
check out
peace
check out our other reviews.
Oh yeah, sure. Peace.
See ya.